There's a Scorsese movie I think people don't talk enough about. And it's new. It's new. It came out in 2019, and it's called Irishman. It's a Netflix film. Maybe that's why people aren't talking about it too much. But I fucking love that film, man. I love it. One of his best. Taxi Driver is Scorsese's best, I think. But The Irishman, the thing that bothers me is that people only talk about that one scene. And you know what I'm talking about, that scene. Because they did the whole thing where they casted Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, and they de-aged them, right? First of all, the de-aging is great. Robert De Niro is supposed to be like 30 and like with de-aging, but if you buy him as 50 or something. So it's like, and people call him a kid. And you can see it on the movement, especially Al Pacino. You can see it on their movement that they are like fucking 100 years old, but their faces look younger. So that scene where I'm talking about is where his daughter comes home. Robert De Niro's daughter comes home and tells that she was disciplined by a store owner. And Robert De Niro says, oh, la, la, la. And he goes to the store owner, and you have this shot where you see the whole thing from afar. And De Niro goes in the store and beats him and pushes him throughout the glass window, and he, on the pavement, he stumps on his hand. And it's so obvious that Robert De Niro isn't like 30, 40 years old. He moves like he's 60 or 70. But that's like, is that the only thing you get from that movie? That one scene? It's a great film. Okay, so let's talk about positives, which is a lot of coffee. Okay, so The Irishman works better if you've seen Goodfellas, Casino, and not only Scorsese films, but also Godfather and shit like that. Because it's sort of, The Irishman is sort of a commentary to those films. Actually, Godfather Part 2 was a commentary to Godfather. Because when Godfather came out, it was criticized of romanticizing the mafia, which I agree they do. That's why I love Godfather Part 2 so much more. So they romanticize, and I hate the cliche of the mafia boss who wants to be good. He's actually good, but he's in a criminal world. I hate that. So the second one, since first one got criticized of that, the second one shows Michael Corleone is a better character, better actor than Marlon Brando's. Becomes colder and colder and colder, and starts basically kills his own family. Why? It's juxtaposed with prequel flashbacks of how his father, Vito Corleone, came to power. That his whole motivation was family and honor and everything. And the focus really about the family. And when you see the juxtaposition with Al Pacino's character, Michael Corleone, getting colder and colder, and more, and I wouldn't say paranoid, but he ends up killing part of his family, and that's great. So the second Godfather Part 2 is like a commentary to Part 1. And The Irishman is a commentary to Scorsese's own films. Now, Scorsese is an older man, he's an old man, and he looks back at what he's done. Because Goodfellas is, the whole thing about Goodfellas is it lures us at the beginning. It lures us into this life, and you want to be a part of that life. It's like, fuck yeah, man, it looks so cool. And then it just, everything goes to hell, and you get like, oh, fuck, okay, it's a terrible life. It's only cool to up to one point, and then it all gets wrong, and you fuck up, and blah blah blah. And the Irishman kind of doesn't romanticize, because Goodfellas doesn't romanticize necessarily, fuck, but it lures you in. You know, look at us, how cool this life is. The Irishman never does that. The Irishman, you know, violence in the Irishman is like someone going up to someone else and pow, 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 and going. Like the most boring assassination ever. Like, it takes it down to a level where the gangster environment, the whole mafia thing, is much more banal. And that makes it so interesting in a sort of commentary to the other films, or like, this is the life, people. This is like, they kill people, but it's also a lot of boring shit. And you have Al Pacino is great as Jimmy Hoffa. It's like 1 hour into a film, Jimmy Hoffa comes in and being introduced, and he steals the show. I know people, and I agree that Al Pacino in the later films are hoo-ah, all that thing, because he's so understated, and so in the Godfather films and the earlier films, Pacino films, he's so like fuck, the opposite of over the top. I don't, you know, English is my second language, so there's certain words that, fuck it, whatever. But later in his career, he's over the top. Wow, yeah, yeah. But in some movies that works. In Heat, it works, and in this one, it works. He steals the show, and you kind of get fond of him, Jimmy Hoffa. And he sort of reminds me in a way where I am stubborn and I get angry fast. And I don't know if I would be as stubborn as Jimmy Hoffa, though. And the thing that Jimmy Hoffa, you kind of start loving him, warts and all. And when the mafia starts getting annoyed by him, and they start telling him, like, you should calm down, we don't like this, because Jimmy Hoffa has been in jail, and he wants to take over the union. He was the president of the union, and he wants to take over the union. And he sort of criticizes certain people that he shouldn't have, because he's involved with the mafia. And the mafia tells him over and over again, you should step down, retire, do not do this, we don't like this. But he doesn't want to step down, and Jimmy Hoffa starts threatening the mob, like, I have files on you, if you kill me, the files will be released. And it's like, fuck, don't do it, Jimmy Hoffa, don't. And the film is like 3.5 hours long, and people, oh, it's too long. But you know, you watch TV shows, you binge TV shows, but you can't watch this. And it's long, and because, you know, it makes you feel for the characters. You're in this world. So when Jimmy Hoffa, you know, in the best sequence of the film is when Frank Sheeran, Robert De Niro's character, is in this what do you call it, thing, celebration of Frank Sheeran, because it's in the union. There's some sort of fucking show, and they're appraisal of him, and everybody's there to celebrate Frank Sheeran's career. So Jimmy Hoffa is there too, and the mob is there, and there's so much tension, and Jimmy Hoffa won't back down, and they threaten him, and they try to talk to him. His friends try to talk to him, and he gets his last conversation with Frank Sheeran, who desperately tries, Robert De Niro's character, desperately tries to convince him to back down. But Jimmy Hoffa about it, no, Not fuck it. No, I'm not gonna back down. And Jimmy Hoffa walks into the dance floor and dances, and it's sort of made like a walk of death, and it's so beautifully done. And also Frank Sheeran, the character who ends up having to assassinate his best friend Jimmy Hoffa, and Joe Pesci is great. He's usually known as the angry character, the temperamental character, but here he's like the complete opposite, and he makes it work brilliantly. A very calm man, very sort of calculated, and the thing that makes this movie so fucking great is the last 40 minutes. Everything makes it great, but the last 40 minutes, it's spoiler, everybody dies, but they die. Jimmy Hoffa gets assassinated by his best friend, Frank Sheeran, which is the protagonist. Frank Sheeran, Robert De Niro is the protagonist. Russell, the Joe Pesci character, dies of old age. A lot of people gets either assassinated or they die of old age. But the one person who doesn't die is the sinner, is the assassin and mob assassin, and that's Frank Sheeran. He has so many sins. He has so many people he's killed, but he ends up like being an old man, and he has daughters that want nothing to do with him. His wife is dead. He's all alone, and he has some sort of problem with his legs, arthritis, I think. And everything slows down at the end. There's no music. There's no Scorsese music anymore. You know how Scorsese uses music in his films. And the music just stops, and you just follow this old man, and it's depressing. And this old man shows that even though he has killed so many people, he's afraid of death himself. This old man is all alone, and he tries to talk to a priest, and he tries to he doesn't regret anything it's done except for Jimmy Hoffa, because Frank Sheeran is sort of a sociopath. He regrets killing Jimmy Hoffa because they were close, but since he didn't know the other people, he don't regret it. And he says that to the priest, that I don't regret any of it except for Jimmy Hoffa. Even though he tries to what's it called? Atone for his sins, even though, but it's more like he wants to atone for his sins to get into heaven, more of an egotistical angle. And I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm leaving now. But you should watch The Irishman. It's a great film, really. It's a great film. People aren't talking about it too much. I gotta go to the store. Guess what I'm gonna buy? Beer. I'm broke, though. I'm broke now. I'm fucking broke. Anyway, that's it. If you want more of this, leave a like button. I appreciate the like button. If you want more of this, and subscribe or whatever, fuck it. But just leave me a comment if you want more of this. Leave me a like. I appreciate you guys. All right? Now fuck off.